So, you just unlocked Grand Arena. You just hit level 85. Where do you go now? That is the question. That everybody hits 85 and is like, oh god, I have Grand Arena. I'm in Carbonite 5. What do you do? Alright. So, real quick about me. I have 3 accounts. This is the third one. It just hit level 85 today. Grand Arena starts. The event join will be tomorrow. It'll be 3v3 Grand Arena. I have a 12 million account that bounces between Kyber 1 and Kyber 2. I have a 9.4 million account that bounces between Kyber 2 Kyber 3. I know those words may not mean anything to you, but let's talk about it. So there's this I button up here. This is going to tell you really everything you need to know, but we'll talk about it. So like I just said, Kyber 1, 2, and 3 are up here. This is the top. You're going to start right here in Carbonite 5. The way it works is it is almost like a skill-based system in that you gain and lose points based on winning, right? Winning and losing. I know it's like, all right, well, duh. Okay. Basically, every time you're winning a bunch, you're going to get further up this list. And then you're going to play people who have lost a bunch, but they're probably a lot bigger than you. And you're going to get beaten bad. And unfortunately, that's kind of how the matchmaking works. So you might win a few starting out, and then you might get smashed for a few. And it's going to try to force you to a 50% win rate. Now, starting out, especially if you're like a free-to-play account or like a really, really light spender, you're going to have a bad time in Carbonite 5 because basically up here, the further you get, the closer the matchups are going to be. So my main account in Kyber 1 that's 12 million, as you can imagine, there's not a lot of room, Kyber 1, Kyber 2, there's not a lot of room for people to be bigger than me. So my matchups are normally within 1 million galactic power. My alt account that's in Kyber 2 at 9 million will play anyone from 8 million to 12, right? So there's more disparity there. If you're in Kyber 5, you're probably playing anyone from 5 million to 10 million. If you're in a Rhodium 3, you're probably playing people from anywhere from 4 million to 9 million. The disparity widens the further back you go. So in Carbonite 5, you really could play anybody. And let's, just to prove that point, let's take a look at the people around me. So I started out at 1,166 skill rating. Presumably that's some base starter value. I'm not sure exactly what you'll start at. You'll be around that. Let's take a look at this guy. He's ranked 50 in Carbonite. He's 5 million galactic power, no galactic legends. And 5 million in Carbonite 5. Let's look at the next guy. Much more reasonable, 720k. So just 2 people, I think they even have the same skill rating, right? Or very close. The exact same skill rating. One is 700k, one's 5 million. Let's look at 3 skill rating higher. 1.5 million. Now let's look at, let's just go up a little bit. We're still in the 1500 to 1500. This guy, 500k. So I think you maybe can get, and of course, let's take a look at some people higher. This is a small account too, 500k. This one, 800k. I think you're kind of starting to get the picture, right? And we've got 500k again. So you've got a bunch of people who are 500k, 800k, 700k, but then you're going to find a couple 5 millions. You're going to find some people who are even bigger than that. Let's see if I can go off the portrait. That's 300k, that's really small. That's the same as this account. But let's just keep kind of, you could do this too. Once you unlock it, here you go. 3.7. So you're going to hit it and you're going to have a wide variety of people you can play. And now, of course, let's go look at like Carbonite 4. We've got 1 million. We've got, well, we won't spend too much time here. I think you get the point that it's all over the place. 1.5. But let's talk more about how Grand Arena works. So, I'm just going to basically read this to you, but it's correct, right? So, these are leagues, okay? Kyber's a league, a Rhodium's a league, Chromium's a league, Bronzium's a league, and Carbonite's a league. Within it are 5 divisions. Division 1, excluding Kyber, moves up to the next league at the end of a season, and we'll talk about what a season is. Division 5 moves down to the previous league at the end of the season. Grand Arena is structured where seasons are 3 weeks long, once a month. So you have event 1. This will start. Join phase is on a Monday. Setup phase will be on Tuesday, and the first round is on Wednesday. And you'll play a match that will start Wednesday afternoon, Friday afternoon, and Sunday afternoon. If you're in roughly Central, Eastern, Pacific, U.S. time, it's the afternoon. But you obviously, based on your time zone, take a look, see when it starts. But Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Those are your attack phases, and you'll do that 1 week. Then you'll have another week, and you'll have Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, attack phases. Then the next week, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, attack phases, and then you're done. That's the season. So there's always going to be 9 rounds to a Grand Arena season. Each week, you're going to compete in a bracket of 8 players to fight for first in that bracket. So when I say bracket, I mean your weekly match, your event 1 match. And it's not a massive deal if you go 3-0 1 week and then 0-3 the next. You're still 50-50 for the season. That's kind of what you want to focus. Your goal should really be, and of course you can't finish a complete 50-50 because 9 rounds. So you always want to be at that 5-4 at least. You want to be winning at least one more than you're losing because, well, I will get into the skill rating squish the CG likes to run. But anyway, as it says here, you finish 5, you go down, you finish 1, you go up. Okay, here we go. 1 week long events grew a weekly event. Each has a 24-hour join phase. So the join phase saves your roster. You'll go click the button and join. It'll save your roster in its current state, and you can refresh that. If you make an upgrade here in the middle of event 1, week 1, it is not going to apply until the next join phase for the next event. So just know that it is critical during those 24-hour join phase. If you've got upgrades or remodding that you need to do, you do it before that ends. That way you can have it going into the week. Let's see, matchmaking, it only looks at the skill rating at the beginning of a Grand Arena event. There is not like skill rating changes based on partial clearing, full clearing, your opponent not scoring much. It is literally win and loss. There's no like hidden, I only lost by 1 banner, so I lost less skill rating. Speaking of winning and losing, ties go to the highest galactic power. So if you're smaller, you need to win by 1 or more. If you're bigger, you just need to tie. You're almost always going to be smaller. By the way, if you care enough to watch this video, it means you're probably a good player, and you're going to have to deal with that. So that's the basics of how the system works. But now we're going to talk about, okay, you've just hit level 85. You're here. You're like, man, what do I need to do? How do I do this? How do I approach the Grand Arena defense system? How do I approach offense? This is the map for Grand Arena. So there's 5v5 and 3v3. You're going to want to go into your squad page. You're going to want to make squads for Grand Arena. You're going to want to set unique only so that you aren't accidentally reusing multiple things. And you're going to make one for 5v5 and 3v3. Realistically, you can also use this for TW because you're probably not going to change your lineups all that much between TW and GAC. But you're going to want to set unique only. You're going to make squads. In 5v5, you're basically just making your squads based on the teams you've got, and hopefully you formed a good farming plan. It's pretty simple to make your 5v5 squads. I would say once you hit the point where you're trying to put in, even technically this probably doesn't even deserve to be a squad. But, probably neither of these, frankly. But at least, these 3, you're definitely wanting a squad. In 3v3, you want to be more careful. You want to make sure you're paying attention to who has a leader ability. If you farmed a Phoenix farming path, then you can see what I've done here. Let me move my webcam to the other side so that I'm not obscuring your view here. So we've got Captain Rex and Kanan under Hera lead for our Phoenix. I just did a random Rebel lead for our last 2 remaining Rebels. I did Palp, Vader, +1. This 3rd slot is not super relevant. This could be Typer Pilot or Thrawn or anything really. Then Bosk, Boba, Dengar is what I did for my Bounty Hunter team that I built up for clearing our Dark Side battles. If you want to know how I got these teams and everything already, I hit level 85 today and you can see the stuff I'm using, then please check out my free-to-play series that I did. Hit it right around 28 days. I have to still count, but something like that. It was less than a month. I've got my CLS requirements. I think I'm actually going to do Stormtrooper Han lead. I think his lead is a little bit better. And then we've got, and I could, break this up if I needed to, because Farboy Luke and Old Ben both have leads. I don't have either of them leveled. Storm Han is kind of a little bit better. It gives everyone some offense and some defense. I don't have ability upgrades in any of them, so this team's not really going to do anything. Between these two, I like Cad Bane's lead a little bit better. Let's get some potency to try to get the stuns and the target lock healing immunity, all that. Thrawn's not going to give me much here. This is not going to do much, and this is not going to do much. But you want to kind of establish what your leads are and how many teams you've got. So I'm going into 3v3, as I said at the start of the video. So in 3v3 and Carbonite 5, you only need 3 teams on defense. But that also means you need 3 teams on offense, because you do not get to reuse teams. So once you've used a team on defense, you cannot use it on offense. So I have to decide, do I try to play defensive? Do I say I only have a handful of good teams and I set something good on defense, or do I try to go more offensive? I think I'm going to try to maybe take a mix and see how it goes. I think I can do fine without my bounty hunters, so I think that's a fine thing for me to set. Fleets, I only have 1 fleet, realistically. I mean, if I set it, I am certainly not clearing a fleet. So I think what I'll do, actually, and feel free to copy this. I am so sorry for the yawning. It's been a very long week. I'm going to set my... I might need that. I'm going to set bounty hunters up here, because I think they're probably the strongest team that I'll wind up setting. I'm going to set my secondary bounty hunter team here, and then I'm going to set my trooper team back here, probably. I'll do this one. And that leaves me with both Phoenix breakouts and the CLS leftovers for offense. So that's my 3 teams that I can hopefully use on offense. And I may need to go harder on defense. Maybe I need to get my Phoenix breakout on defense. And I think I'm going to do my trash ships on defense. If I wanted to not set a good defensive team here, then I would set my good fleet here. So I'm setting a good defensive fleet or team, like my second best team probably realistically on defense. So I'm going to set the next closest defensive fleet that I have. So I need these 5 ships. So we're going to make it this. And I'll toss Y-Wing in there, sure. This is not going to hold at all. My best bet is that somebody else set their good fleet on defense, and maybe IG can carry me through it. 5v5, we're going to approach it a very, very similar way. I'm going to put my Bosk bounty hunters on defense up here. Now, we have less teams, keep that in mind. But I'm going to put my Bosk bounty hunters there. And then what I'll probably do is put my troopers... No, let's do CLS breakout here. And hopefully we'll have R2 upgraded by the time we get around. And then probably do... Problem is, if I set this, I don't even have 3 teams for offense. So I'll probably do, like, some leftover garbage here. See if I can field, like, I don't know. Does this give me anything for non-Empire? No. So I'm going a little off the book here. His lead is locked, and we could probably level him up a little bit. Because he does have a capital ship that we're going to need to use a little... Ooh, I don't want to get his lead, actually. That's a lot of levels. I'll tell you what. We'll just make it Thrawn lead. Doesn't really matter. And Mace has a lead, too, I could do. I don't know. Thrawn, Mace, her, you, and you. There we go. So those are leftover crap. Oh, actually... we just won't have a lead. It's fine. The lead's not going to do me any good. And we'll just toss real guard in there. Because I'm going to need Thrawn at some point in the near future. So complete garbage back there for me. And the same thing on the fleet. So we're going to set just garbage. Because we just don't have much. And it's okay. You're not going to have a lot for a while. It's not a problem. You're going to do the best you can with what you're given. But that's ultimately how it goes. And then when Gretorius starts... You're going to attack, and this opponent's going to have the same defense as me in terms of he's going to have 3 squads and a fleet. Sorry, 3v3. 3 squads and a fleet, and go from there. Each zone clear, and this is really important. This is how it breaks out. You click this little eye up here, and you can see the points. So this tells you can get a max of 59 banners, and clearing the zone gives you a conquer bonus of 148. So in case you didn't know, so fleets are worth more in this Carbonite division. So this is going to change based on where you're at. So make sure when you're changing, I said division, make sure when you're changing leagues, you pay attention to that conquer bonus. But let's take a look. So just winning the battle, ignoring the rest of this, gives you 15 banners. Winning on your first battle gives you 30. Winning on the second attempt gives you 10. Sorry, not another. So these don't add, by the way. If you don't get the 30, you get the 10. So normally, for example, you would get 15, 30, so now you're at 45. You had a couple units surviving. This is 3v3, so +1 for each. Let's say all 3 of our units survived. Now you're at 48. Let's say you had full health on everyone. Now you're at 51. Let's say you had full protection on everyone. You're at 54. And that's it. And then you also get +1 per enemy defeat. I'm trying to remember if you also get this, if you get this when you win only, or if you lose the battle. I believe you get it either way. If you decide to leave units out of your team, you get +4. My only caution here is when you leave a unit out, it really only gives you +1. I know it says 4 now. What do you mean 1? You get 1 if they live, 1 if they have full health, and 1 if they have full protection. So if you put a unit in here and it doesn't get hit, you only lost 1 banner that you could have gotten by leaving them out. So if leaving a unit out is going to make you have a messier battle, all the units are going to get hit more, you're going to lose your full protection, you might lose your full health, and all of a sudden this +4 didn't pay off. If you put the unit in there and they gave foresight to everybody, and then we all didn't get hit, you've just saved more banners than you were going to try to save by leaving them out. So just keep that in mind with the undersize. It's a much more common thing to do in 5v5 as well, like doing a 4-man. Doing a 2-man in 3s is a lot sketchier, in my opinion. There are people that love the undersize game. I tend to try to play a little safer because I don't want to lose a battle because I tried to undersize and messed up. Just keep that in mind. But anyway, all that to say, you also get 10 banners for making your first attack. And that is because in order to get rewards, you have to get 10 banners. So just by making your first attack, you get 10. Just FYI. That's why that's there. So both you and your opponent are going to get a free 10 that's just added to your score just from showing up. But yeah, I hope that helps. If you have questions, I've been playing Grand Arena since it was added on 2 accounts, pretty much. I think my alt, I guess, I don't know if my alts started in 2020, and I think Grand Arena was added before that. I'm pretty confident. Not this version of Grand Arena. It was different. It wasn't Grand Arena Championships. It was just Grand Arena. Then they made it Grand Arena Championships, and we got the leagues and everything. We didn't have that before when it was first added, and they were testing the feature. There weren't crystals tied to it. So I guess that's the other important thing for us to talk about before we end here is the rewards. So in Carbonite 5, you get 55 crystals a day just for existing. Just for getting to Grand Arena, you get 55 crystals a day. If you win a round, you get 70. You lose a round, you get 30. So now you want to start averaging this out. Ignoring this down here, you want to average this out. You win, you get 70 and 55, so you got 125 crystals. And if you want to divide that up and say, okay, well, the round takes 2 days, right? Because you got the set defense phase and then the attack phase. So really, it was 70 and 110, so you got 180, 90 a day. So this averages out to 90 a day if you won your round for 2 days. If you lost your round, it averages out to 85, cut that in half, 42 a day, 55, so 110, 30, 40, 70 a day. Basically, you're getting at least 70 crystals a day, even if you lose every single round, just by getting here. And this is going to go up per division and per league. So in Carbonite 1, 75, 110, 30. But anyway, we'll keep talking about Carbonite 5. This is your weekly rewards. So if you win all 3 rounds, boom, you get 750 crystals, 2,000 championship tokens, 200 Mark 1, 3 Zetas, 4 Omegas, and a stack of gear. If you lose every single round, this is what you get. You even win 1 round all week, you Zeta. That's great. Awesome. Lovely to have it. At the end of the season for Carbonite 5, you get 100 crystals. Not a lot. At the end of a whole month, you get 100. Very small. You start going up, that goes up. This is unchanged. So 750 here, 750, 500, 253, unchanged. I want to say that this doesn't change either. Yep. So this doesn't change at all. Maybe the boxes change, gear. I don't think it does. I think these weekly rewards are completely fixed. Obviously, the crystals and all this other currency are fixed, right? That one's pretty easy to tell. but I don't know about the gear. But this is fixed regardless where you're at. So you're going to get most of your rewards by performing well throughout the week, versus like if you're in Kyber 1, you win a single round, you get 900 crystals. That's more than winning the entire week. So in Kyber 1, Kyber 2, Kyber 3, it's more about winning individual rounds than it is about winning the week. Here you want to win the week. You want to win, you want to go 3-0, and then you want to go and do, 2-1. You don't want to be getting the 0-3. Of course, that's obvious, right? But either way, just worth mentioning that those crystals do really start to rocket up as you get higher. If I go to Bronzium 1, it's the top of the next division up, you're getting 100 a day, you're getting 200 for a win. And you also get, about 6 times for the month. Same thing, you get 1,000 here, you get 125 a day, 350 a win. So anyway, Grand Arena is your main source of crystals outside Fleet Arena, which is a whole different conversation. All that to say, you do want to do your best. You're going to have a hard time. You're going to get a lot of matchups that are not fair. You're going to play a lot of people that are just massive, and I'd have to click again through to find someone in here. But you will find people that just don't look like they belong, that are way too big to be here, but they're going to be here, and it just is what it is. You're going to not be happy, but you give it your best. And I wish I could say that it was going to be fair. It's not. You're going to play people there. Give it your best every round. Try to get wins and climb. Because like I said earlier, that skill disparity, that skill rating disparity gets smaller the higher you go. So the higher you go, the more fair your matches are going to be-ish, within reason. You're always going to be smaller if you do well. You're always going to be. You're going to be 2 million GP smaller for the rest of your Grand Arena career, pretty much. Okay? But you can't let that discourage you. You always need to do your best and understand that that means you're better than they are. Because they're having to punch 2 million down and you're having to punch 2 million up. So they are worse than you at the game. And it's a question of, can you close that gap with your skill and your knowledge of the game? And that's all I've got to say today. I hope this really helped. If you have questions about Grand Arena, like I said, I've been playing this for years. Since it was released, I'd like to think I know what I'm talking about. So please do not hesitate to ask. If this helped, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to be doing Grand Arenas on this account. I'm going to be, still doing my Grand Arenas on my other 2 accounts. I stream those Wednesday nights, Friday nights, Sunday nights. I stream Grand Arena. And feel free to check those streams out, and they'll help you learn how it works. And please just, make sure to subscribe and share this video with your friends. You've got other people that have started the game. I hope this helps at least explain the basics of Grand Arena, because I don't think that there's enough content talking about, hey, here's what you do when you unlock Grand Arena. So thank you guys so much.